No
No
problem.
problem, Kim. We appreciate it. I know you're on a production meeting, but anyway, so this is a follow-up on the Maroon Island project. So this is obviously Vernon's you know childbirth. It's a great idea. I spoke to Vernon quite a few times on this. So there's great potential here. So Vernon, I'm gonna ask you to give a latest update. We got the information that you sent regarding potentially China's activities in Jamaica and Jamaica's prime minister's notification that they want to develop a film production localized in Jamaica as well. So
Hmm.
there may potentially be crossover interests. Last time we talked about China potentially Xi Jinping visiting US and potentially injection of capital from China into media content. So Werner, I'm going to let you give a quick overview of what the status of Maroon Island is, and then we'll get Kim to have his comment regarding China specifically interest, and then I'll talk about potential funding avenues on our collective side. So Vernon, over to you.
Okay. So, what's been happening over the last few weeks is I've been looking into the Chinese and Jamaican relationship. And I just found out last year when my family went to Jamaica that the Chinese had rebuilt the entire Jamaican infrastructure, starting with the highways, and now they're working on the roads, and that they consider Jamaica to be of strategic interest to them. And as a matter of fact, they have a 50-year lease on the port of Jamaica, which is the deepest uh, saltwater port in the Caribbean. And Jamaica is also at the central of the center of the Caribbean, which is why it's been historically a an important island for empire builders. And so I thought that the fact that we have interest or we have connections to China through your various contacts, yours, Dr. Ying, yours, Kim's, that we could look at this as a bigger picture, as an opportunity to do some of the filming in Jamaica, and also as an opportunity to maybe get involved with some of the reconstruction, rebuilding, or the expansion of the Jamaican economy, which is going to be the driving force for the Caribbean going forward. So I just thought this was a good opportunity to look at the film as just as uh, the foot in the door to maybe something bigger. Of course, we have to get the film financed first, and that's what we need to talk about today. The other thing that's happened is that as we were going through the list of directors for uh, Maroon, I mentioned Spike Lee, and when I looked to see if, and they said that they thought that was a good idea. I'm talking about Buffalo. And then I looked up to see if he had done anything in the science fiction field, and he hadn't. And I didn't expect that he would have. But I found a young director that I sent you information on, and he's done one film for Netflix already under Spike Lee's production company. And then he did a second film for YouTube. But he's a science fiction nut, first of all, and he wants to do science fiction films. And both of these were successful in terms of getting to Netflix and getting on Netflix. The reason he got on Netflix was because of the Spike Lee connection. And the film was a pretty good film. It's called See You Yesterday, and it's a time travel film. So he's a young African American. Actually, he's a Guyanese American, and he's a very talented director. So I'm working on trying to get him interested in the film Maroon Island. And of course, the Guyanese have a history of maroonage in their country, so he should be familiar with the Maroon name. And then I would like to also get Thunder Road, which is a film financing company, involved because they are big fans of his. They backed the second movie of his called Breathe, which didn't do that well, but they like him, and I think that they would be, if we come in with some money, that they can also. They're a finance company. They are part of the John Wick financial team, and of course, the John Wick movies become surprise hits, and a whole franchise they've built around it very successfully. So they finance movies in the sweet spot that we're in. So they're $20 to $50 million financiers, and that fits our budget. And they're looking for product, as everyone in Hollywood is. They're looking for something new, as everyone in Hollywood is. They're looking to do movies in that range that can make a lot more, as any business wants. Uh, the uh, the way things are in Hollywood now, people are taking a really long look at the $200-300 million film and saying that it may have had its day. And the only way you're going to do films like that is with proven IP. So anything that's not proven has got to be in the lower budget range. And they've been surprised over the last few weeks with a couple of low budget films, one called Obsession and another one called Boardrooms or Hallways or something like that. But they were both filmed for around $10 million and made hundreds of millions. So once again, Hollywood is looking at, how can we do films that are not huge budgets, but that can also draw a big audience. So this is a good time for going in with innovation, and that's what we have with Maroon. So I wanted to talk to you today about, what you think you can do to attract some capital, as we spoke about earlier. Now that we've had a few weeks to think about things and catch our breaths and take a look at the landscape, which is what I've been doing.
Thanks, Vernon. Before I hand it over to Kim, as you know, I updated the deck to include the Chinese component, the Chinese admiral and the Chinese queen.
Yes.
So that could be, a follow-up series. So to basically get the Chinese interested, because if they invest in this, they obviously want the component, in that, and that's why I specifically put that extra deck in there. Like you said, the African history was missing from our Western media. Well, similarly, you could argue the Chinese history is also very, other than kung fu and all that stuff. But the real Chinese history is something that's lacking. And therefore Maroon Island could cover both of those spectrum, and that's why I put that in. But anyway, before I talk on my side, I'll let Kim have his comments on what Vernon just proposed. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry for being late. It's just crazy here we're going through. So Bonded didn't come in, right? I was surprised because Bonded, obviously, this is the financing side of company. I know them very well. They usually don't come in until there's money actually involved with it. So I was surprised that you actually got them in early on, because they never pick up any call. And nothing that happened. I know them very well. They've been asking me to do other stuff. So they came to me for other things and all, but we've been trying to do it the other way, let them chase us for it. But they will only come when there's money actually in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
they're always, it's like, it's the problem with, it's not the problem, it's like, it's very, in most business, film business especially, is definitely like that. People don't want to be the first one to jump into the water.
Right. Yep.
Everybody wants to know what are they putting in there, who is putting the first million.
Right.
If you have a million in your bank, or 10 million in your bank, it's easy. It's very same with my investors. A lot of my investors, same thing. They'll come in and say, I love what you're doing, but who is doing it? So
Mm-hmm.
bonded is the same thing. Nothing will going to happen till you have something. They only come in when they smell that there money to be made out of it.
Right. Well,
You know?
let me just say this. The way I got to Bonded was I wrote to Matt Helderman directly, and he responded to me. I was surprised also,
Yeah.
and he asked me to send my information to the Buffalo side of the company, or he emailed me and he put the person I needed to contact on the email. So it was more than even just an introduction. It was uh, not an order, but a business transfer to his lieutenant, saying to take a look at this and let's see if we can do something. So I was very surprised when that happened, because I had reached out to other companies, cold emails, no responses. And
Yes. Yes.
they responded, and the terms were acceptable to me. And I realized that you got to get in some way, and
Yes.
that was the way to get in.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so the the place we're at now is that they're helping to they're reaching out to production companies. The list I sent you is basically who they're reaching out to, but they just added uh, uh, Spike Lee to it. And I'm not interested in working with Spike Lee directly, but I would love to work with his this young director that he's mentored, who's into sci-fi. So Bonded is doing what they agreed to do, and they haven't gotten to the top levels of the list yet. The top
Yes.
level of the list would be James Cameron's company. And what they're doing with the companies they're talking to is they're seeing, what they're looking to develop, where they are in terms of their budgets for the year and that kind of thing. And then they're looking to raise capital through these companies. So I'm not the kind of person to sit around and wait for things to happen. So
Yes.
I'm looking at other options while they do what they agreed to do. And that's why I mentioned Spike Lee, and then that led to this guy whose name I keep forgetting, but
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
young guy. He's just coming up. He's got 2 movies. So we'll see if he's interested. If he's interested, then we can go to Thunder Road and say, look, this director that you use for Breathe is interested in this project. And, what's the next step? We'd like to use him to direct the movie.
Yes.
Big capital. So they have the capital. They just made a deal with a billionaire just last year to finance more films. So they're trying to, as everybody is, trying to move up the ladder in terms of the kind of movies they make. They had a surprise hit with John Wick. That was an out of the box,
Yes.
unexpected hit, which had been written off, and then suddenly it took off after it had been released for 2 or 3 years. So
Yes.
they're in a good spot right now, and they're looking to do more. Um, they're looking to do more. So this is a good time to reach out to them.
Yeah.
We had talked
So
about TikTok earlier, Kim, and
yes.
what do you think about reaching out to them?
TikTok?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. TikTok will suit us in this kind of genre.
Uh-huh.
They're looking for something totally different. They and also TikTok will not. My connection would probably not put the funding, because that's what not we are. We're looking for funding,
Mm-hmm.
but they can probably come in with the distribution side later on. They can help with having the Baidu or Douyin on the platform to promote us. That's the thing. But the problem is, again, the horse or the carriage. We have to find out. The biggest thing right now is I think you have people already. You have the script. You have the rights already. You have the team that you want. And money is a king. If we have money, we can hire anybody we want to, any DP we want to, anything. Money is a king. And back to Bonded, and their company, a lot of company like that, like Bonded, you can reach out to. Now is the perfect time, a golden age for us in a sense. So we've been doing a lot of experiments here, right? We send people out a thing through email to John Collins, Kim Wang, Tanya Chitrokova. People with a white sounding name never get anything back. An Asian, or I sound like a female, I get it, because they have to fill the diversity quota. So a lot of this company, if you do look at their website, if you do, that's a way to get in to do that right now. That's the thing. Because if it sounds like that, like John Collins, don't get a reply at all now. So Bonded takes it just to fulfill their diversity quota. They will listen to all of this. But at the end, it's money. It's still about money. We have to find people actually with money. And you're back to yours. Back to your boardroom. I think I spoke already with Dr. Leong last time. I think we brought it up. I'm not sure. Boardroom is a perfect example. Boardroom and session is a perfect example. Mandalorian flopped. Only 350 grand budget flopped. This one was the Steven Spielberg's this new movie with the alien. It bombed. It's gonna bomb very badly. Both of these movies, Boardroom and Obsession, are made by 20 plus YouTubers, 20-year-old YouTubers. And I know them very well too. Boardroom started as a very cheesy, like 3D animated rooms, look like an old VHS camcorder, and they're very gratefully marketed, and they generated lots of view. And they went and told the viewers, go and lobby and get us on a movie theater to show our movie. That's what it happened. They went to a road, and all the thing, and AMC decided to say, okay, we'll come in to show your movie, make it. From there, that they jump abroad, and they got in money. They actually got infusion of money to make it. That was done under $10 million. So it was a kind of co-production a little bit. Obsession was not a co-production. Obsession, a lot of people don't know, was $785,000. Yes. Not even 10 million. $785,000, not a co-production. They just made the movie themselves, and they just sold it to an agent, which is A24. One of these are A24. A24 is now the best platform right now for movies under $50 million. You have to do that. So if you want to do a movie under $50 million, there's a perfect platform. A24 or Angel Studio. If Angel Studio needs to be faith-based or family-oriented. It doesn't have to be Christian faith. It could be any faith. It's just like faith, or even positive, not negative things. They'll take it, and there's a chance better as you can join to go to Angel Studio and join their account. You can be a voting member. You can become a member. You can send your movie for them to a member to look at and see if they want to get made. And they actually vote on it, and they do, and they fund your movie. Anyway, so A24 did what? They just bought Obsession for a flat fee of, I think it was $15 million, which was the biggest, I'm going to get to this funny controversy came out of it. For the guy who did this for $785,000, a $15 million is a 10 plus X return. So the movie made $280 million right now. Right. But does it mean the filmmaker got 280? No, it did not make it. So, and there was a big controversy happened. I'm just going to go really funny story there. Sally Choi, something I kind of know who she is, art director. We exactly had a similar on our set, and we let the person off the day one. She was a production designer, first movie, never made a movie in her life. Like, she did a short film. She came in, she agreed to do for $300 a day, the movie. They paid her $7,000 something, $6,870 something, like for 20 days. That was a decent price. So she did that, and what happened was the movie made money, and then she posted something. That became a biggest debate right now in our industry. She decided she wants Congress to change the law to taking advantage of people like her. She said, because she made, the movie made 280 million, and she only got paid 7,000. Okay,
That's the deal. That's the deal.
but the problem is that she thought everybody will be on her side. It turns out nobody was on her side in the filmmaking world.
That's right.
Because number one, the guy who put in 750,000 took a chance. That kid took a chance, got the parents' money, mortgage money, mortgage their house to that. And he probably people make 10 movies and 10 movies flop.
Yep.
And none of the crew is going to pay him back money, right?
Right.
And you, number one, agreed to be on the set. You agreed to pay. And they told you it's a small set, everybody helps each other. She said she tried to flip the set, which is like a no-no. Meaning flip the set in the middle of the shoot. She thought it was too much booking for her. She wanted to stop the set and call the union to come in and take over. Number one, if a union comes in, the 750 grand is going to cost like $8 million.
Yeah.
Number one, right? Number two is she doesn't understand was that union comes in, will fire her right away because she doesn't qualify to be a union. In order to be a union as an art director, you need to have 3 movies in your belt, 3 independent films before you can join the union. You pay $10,000 plus to join the union. So she'll be out of it. So there's a big controversy. Number two is $280 million doesn't go to one person. Half goes to the theater. A lot of people don't realize that. 50% goes to theater. And out of the 50%, 30% goes to distribution or sales agent. Right. And then the lawyer comes in. But for the guy he sold for 15 million, he didn't say anything because of 200 million, because that's what he agreed on. And he got away with it. And that was the idea was to make a movie for X amount of money. And that was your key to charge a lot more for the next movie.
Right.
Like your movie, like once you do this, that's why I'm saying we convince you to do it at a lower scale right now. If we can't get the money that we want, we can still do it. And then once that's done, then they say, oh, I want to make a sequel, or I want to make a prequel. Right. I make a work based on that, another one. Mm-hmm. That's where the money will come in. Now you own the IP. Right. You know what? Okay, this is going to be that. Sorry. So I was sidetracking. So that's the way to do it. I think that's a great idea. And also you talk about Jamaica thing. That's a very good positive side, because I know China's been doing the same thing here right now. We were working with the film industries. They want the PR thing going on. They call the Friendship and Cultural Program. They're starting here. They've been doing it a lot of countries in Africa too. They've been doing with the ports and all thing. I do know they were working on those fields, but I think right now it's very positive that they all actually wants to do filming also with Jamaica and all. We'll take advantage of. All their requirement, I'm telling you what their requirement is. Their requirement basically to people to be more favorable of China and to vote for them in the UN. Vote with them in the UN. That's the only thing. They don't care about money coming back. They're not expecting the money to come back. They just want you to vote, your government to vote in UN with them. And they have like Taiwan's doing the same thing. I work for both sides. Taiwan's trying to get the other side. If their place that China didn't go to, Taiwan's trying to get them. So I'm doing an event with Estonia and a bunch of small African country. I'm doing a seminar with them, and Taiwan. They're doing the same thing. So anything that China don't go, but in our side, it's good for us. They want to what they do. We want to get funding for the film. So I think that's Jamaica is a good revenue to go for if they have some funding.
Okay, so let me interrupt you for a second. So I understand that, money is the key to everything now, because we have the IP, we have the contacts, we have various people that are professionals in the business. As far as Jamaica and the Chinese go, where do you think you could go to get money from the Chinese establishment with the idea of solidifying their position in Jamaica, but on a cultural level? They've already solidified it as they're with their roads, building the roads, infrastructure. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
They're solidified with the infrastructure. Yeah. So what about the cultural side of it? That's where you win people's hearts and minds. If you're involved in the culture and they see you in some of the films that they're making, or are you backing some of the films, or you're backing a film that's shot there and it's about Jamaica? This would be a good time to pitch something like that to the Chinese establishment, whoever that might be. So that's the purpose of this call, to see who that establishment might be that you might be able to contact.
Yes. Okay. Now my contact is mostly like they have different groups. The ICN people, they are focused on US here right now. I can go back and rush to feel up if they know somebody that's handling the South Africa side, because they have a team for it, their PR team for it. My one is just they focus on US right now. But Dr. Leong may know a lot of people in China or connection that will do that. And the key to get that is very simple to get into it. Okay, well, short story. So like long ago, more than a decade ago, China only allows like 15 to 13 movies inside the country before they open up the industry a year. Mm-hmm. And that could be international movie. So getting the movie inside to be released inside is a big thing. You're exposing yourself to billions and billions of dollars in there, right? So what they did was the first movie that they found out to make works was Independence Day back then. Independence Day, they did was they added a scene in there when they saw them build the ark, the big giant ship to save the world.
Right.
And they just added a scene called "Only in China the Chinese can build this." Only, and the China became the savior.
Yes.
That was the history.
Yeah.
That opened it up, and China saw that as a value, and they said 25 movie. Now it's got multiple movie right now. So a lot of people don't know Iron Man. In the first Iron Man, we saw in US, and the fund that they opened in China. In China, Iron Man has 25 more extra minute runtime in China.
Oh.
And they had a Chinese sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
There was another character on Iron Man that's Chinese. So it's a thing. So this is when we approach them. I mean, Dr. Leong, who will approach them, just think of the idea that if you can add something in your script that is pro-China, mm-hmm. that's your key to getting your script looked at. You're getting you're into the land with right people with finance in China.
Oh, okay. Right. So you're talking about
Kim. Let me just jump in here, Vernon. So first of all, Maroon Island is a U.S. production. So your contact to Chinese interested in U.S. production matches Maroon Island. The fact that the storyline is based in the Caribbean, well, is the Americas, as far as it's saying, we Chinese all look alike. Well, so all the Americans will all look alike, so who cares, right? So that's something that, we can base. So we have the contact that's interested in making a U.S. co-production, then we need to pitch that Maroon Island is a U.S. Spiral AI U.S. entity with partnership in the U.S., etc. So that's number one. We can, in principle, leverage if you have the right channel to China that's interested in making U.S. co-production. Number two, I deliberately put the component of the Chinese admiral and the historic pirate queen, which I label the world's most famous and successful Chinese pirate in the world. So if we need to put that front and center on the first series, so we need to re-script it, that we have at least a Chinese star in there, a Chinese pirate star, a Chinese admiral star in Maroon Island, then at the end of the day, I assume Vernon, like I said, money talks. So if we need to re-script it to have a strong Chinese, starring role in that, then I don't see that as being an issue. So those are the two components that I believe it could be, because the final full screenplay hadn't yet been done. There's the treatment and the thing, the 45-page treatment, etc. So it's flexible enough to, right. Change, the Black African queen to a Chinese that happened to be living in, because there's a lot of Chinese in the Caribbean. To be, we Chinese are already in the Caribbean, so it's not like a thing, right? So China is willing to throw $10-20 million because we changed the African queen to a Chinese queen, or, in the Caribbean, so she's a mixed race, whatever. Then in principle, I think that is something that I'm sure Vernon will be more than happy if someone's willing to throw $10-20 million our way. So Vernon.
Yes. So, interestingly, Dr. Ying, that you said what I was going to say. You took it a little further than I would have. But what I was going to say is that, I have no problem with adjusting the current plot and screenplay to include elements that would be favorable. Here's one thing that I don't think most of us think about, and that is the people who inhabited the New World came from China across the Bering Straits when there was a land bridge. They walked across it. And so that the original descendants of the Indians were Asian. And this is something that is totally kind of, pushed to the side in history. But the Chinese could say that, we were actually here first. We walked across the land bridge, and our descendants are the Indians, the American Indians. Of course, there's going to be controversy about that, but so what? That's what
No,
makes.
there is no controversy about that. Even the mainstream paleontological scientific community are aware that the first inhabitant of the Americas came from the Bering Strait, like I said to you,
right?
From the Chinese, and in fact, that could possibly fit in very well with the alien thing. Is that the aliens are coming back from 10,000, 20,000 years when the Asians migrated from, quote, China to the Americas. And so that could actually be a perfect fit. But basically what I'm saying is, Kim, is that the script can be very easily adapted where it has a strong, quote, Chinese superhero component that will satisfy the Chinese. So with that in mind, Kim, do you believe that you have the necessary contact that you can pitch right now for a U.S. co-production with China and a strong Chinese figurehead star? And obviously, if we can get up to the 20, 30, or 50 million, then maybe we can hire your friend, the Oscar-winning lady that we talked about. That, so things of that nature. So, Kim, your comment on that?
Yes and no. Two things happening. And remember, there's a lot of things going on my plate. I have so many projects on my plate right now. But in terms of my contact in China, I'm still trying to work with Dr. Liang with the other thing, with Worlds of Wonder. So I can bring it up. I don't know if that's going to sidetrack other projects, because I'm trying to work on that project. When that thing says completely dies, I mean, it's dying down already. To be honest, I told with Johanna, that's coming dying down, then I can bring this up, right? Because I don't want to bring multiple projects. Number one, they see me as being cutting too thin. Like, hey, Kim, what project are you working on? If I give you a 10 million, are you going to work on this, or are you going to make another movie? So that's the thing. My thing right now in China is a little slow, but it could possibly not be. And the second thing is, I don't think you need to even write a script with Chinese inside at the moment. You don't need to invest the time on it. Maybe you do in your pitch deck, you add another page, add a fictitious character of a Chinese character in there with a synopsis of it. So when you send a pitch deck from my side or from Dr. Liang's side to a potential Chinese partner, you send them pitch deck B. So when you're doing the American side, we pitch deck A. Number one, we're not hiding, we're not lying. Basically, we have this story can go this way, and basically the same thing go, the golden rules. Whoever has the goal will rule. So whoever comes with the goal to us will say, you know what, we'll adapt the story a little bit to your liking. At the same time, you still control 99% or at least 95% of your IP. Does it make sense?
And that's what I said at the beginning. I already added the one page with the Chinese component, and I'm going to keep that whether we give it to a white guy, a black guy, a Chinese guy. That's going to remain. So that deck, and the only thing we have to discuss, which is not fully in the deck, is does that Chinese component come in at the very beginning or part of the series? It doesn't matter. We will adapt our conversation based on who we're talking to. But that already, that one page about the Chinese admiral and the Chinese pirate queen, that's already in the deck, and that's staying in there irrespective of who we pitch it to.
Right.
So
that's
again, Kim,
there.
I understand because I've thrown a lot of project at Kim lately. Obviously beginning my own selfish project, of course. But again, we're all selfish, of course. We all want to do our project.
Not selfish
I
project,
understand.
a good
That's
project.
why, Kim, that's why I'm not chewed you over. That's why, like I said, I obviously threw you the German, which I believe is a good coin. That's why you and I have been focusing predominantly on that. But the way I pitch it is, as Kim said, there's a lot of different production houses in China, etc. So I'm not, like example, I'm not necessarily throwing 3 or 4 projects at one production that I'm talking to. Except obviously with Kim because he has a lot of connection. But if like example, Angel, you mentioned Angel Investor, I'm going to look into that. And if it's religious, then I'm going to throw my own project because it's on science and religion, right? Clystar. So I'm just going to throw that. So I'm not necessarily going to throw everything at it. So that's what I mean is Kim, maybe you'll find a Chinese like ByteDance or whatever that, is more interested in the sci-fi than they are on a documentary. So that way you say, you know what? The story of a new world is not a good fit for this Chinese entity, but a sci-fi movie, Maroon Island could be a perfect fit, or like Angel, maybe my Clystar, the unification science and religion, that's a perfect fit. So that's something which, Kim, I don't want to distract you and get you, like I said to you, throw to, because like I said to you, that could be a detriment because then people like, put your head through it. Which one are you working on? Which one's important? So I totally understand where that's coming from. So that's what I'm saying to you. Depending on which entity that you feel the better fit, and Kim and Vernon already mentioned about ideal fit, about Spike Lee is not a good fit, but his Prodigy potentially is a much better fit. And not only is he a better fit for the sci-fi, but the backers, one success, one failure. But hey, maybe if we can get that Prodigy on board, maybe their backer will put that 10, 20 million in that. Yeah. So that would be a good fit, right? And that's why I'm not throwing Vernon. Oh, Vernon, you have to sell this German thing. So that's the thing that I want you to look in, Kim. It's not necessarily just throw everything at every single party. That could be a bad thing. But where you find a better fit, when you talk to a Chinese entity that say, oh no, we want to do sci-fi. We're interested in a sci-fi production with a US thing, then Maroon Island or my Clystar would be a better fit. And those that are interested in documentary that sells to Chinese, then obviously My Story, the family of thing, I say the thing. But those are, like I said to you, so that's why this is the cover, right? So the pitch deck is there with the Chinese component, whether we add the Chinese or not, irrespective, and if you have a Chinese entity. So I'm going to look at the Angel and look at, because the Maroon Island does have a spiritual component in it as well. In fact, Vernon is interested in embedding my twin universe, the path to God, within that. So that may be a good. So Vernon, you and I will look at what Kim said, the Angel Capital, and look at them potentially being a source of funding for us as well. So that's what I'm saying. And you agree, we just need to have the first person to open up the wallet and then the dam breaks. Like I said, no one likes to be the first one. Right. They prefer to someone else put their money first and then they'll come in. So we just need to have that first investor come in, and then potentially the dam will break down.
Yeah, even a million would be enough, just to get it started.
Ken, you want to say something?
Yeah. So number one thing, Dr. Leong, there's no such thing as a selfish project. I think there's only good project. I'm here because I have trust you. I trust Dr. Leong. I trust Andrea. I saw their project. I've been friends with them a long time. I see potential. That's why I'm here. Okay. So it's a good thing.
Thank you,
Number
Kim.
two is taking as much project is also not a bad idea. It's definitely a good idea. You can, if you have 99 arrows and you shoot 99 arrows, if you land 2, that's all you want. Okay.
Amen.
It's just, I was trying to say was not saying not to take a big project. I just didn't want to pitch all the project to the same target. I just gonna do like this one has a place for a different platform. Yours as a platform has a thing, and I will gladly pursue all of them because after all, and also one thing a lot of people don't realize, we are filmmakers, right? We can make 100 million of one movie, but don't forget after the movie's over, everybody's unemployed. And some people just lift off that millions and then then they go in bankruptcy, But unlike that, I love working. So after I finish a movie, as this game was said, I'm like doing the next thing again, even like finishing that because I enjoy what I do. But a lot of people do that. So and a lot of people get minded, make this movie. I said no, because we want to do it. We'll take everything. Everything is a good, even project that are not so good, we can come. That's why we have here. We can come in, we give you expert ideas, our creative, and fine-tune it, polish it to make it perfect. That's all of this is fine. So I think we can definitely go ahead with all of this thing. Separately, like I said, when I mentioned Angel Studio, you guys take a look at it, do a search on it. The only thing I just tell you, so everything when we go, that's how I do our pitching. Because before I go into those things, I try to learn everything about the person. My staff knows what golf game they play, who is their niece or nephews are, what do they like or don't like. That's why we do that when I go to port. That's why I need to tailor to that thing. Angel Studio is perfect because they fund movies for under $50 million. And when I think like also the good thing later on that we are willing to go a slightly lower case, trying to use AI, to help with the thing for $5 million and all. I think that's much more easier to take off the ground than a $30 million movie or $50 million movie. And if we go to these people, that's why I'm like, later on, Dr. Leong, if you have a 5 moments, I'm going to stay behind and talk to you and give you an update with what Raj and I have talked about. Anyway, so back to this one. Angel Studio is good, but just bear in mind when we approach them, they are more conservative, but they take everything. They're not like politics. They're not political, like, pro one, pro whatever. They take everything. They just don't take anything that's too far like a politics into it. So make sure when you pitch them, don't talk about politics, left or right. They don't want to hear it. They just want to fund good movies that have good value or have a good message, or underdog movie or movie that, that promotes something, doesn't mean any religion. Dr. Leong, your movie, Clydesdale movie, is a perfect fit for Angel Studio. If you can go there, you can even try, before you spend any money, try to do some research about the company.
Yeah, I will.
When you join them, you become a member. You can also become a voting member. You get to see other people's film, and you can vote on what movie get made or not made. And you create your project and put it up there, and some of the board members selects it and they bring it up for voting with the general voting. And what they do is, it's like a platform like Netflix, but except it's also like Mandatorium, but done very well, right? Well, I tell you, because their fees like 100 something a year, something similar to Mandatorium, but they have lots of good movies. They have David and other hits. They just messed up with a big messed up with it recently. Right now, they took a big hit. They made a movie called Animal Farm. And all the members went, and what they do is when you buy a subscription to them, you get to watch all the movie for free. You vote for what movie are being made. At the same time, you also get free ticket when it plays in the theater, 2 free tickets. So I mean, it's like a no-brainer. The platform has very good. Same thing with A24 also. So what they did was Animal Farm was an anti-communist movie. So all the members voted for it.
It's a George Orwell. It's a George Orwell.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when the movie came out, they totally changed it. Andy Serkis was the director, the guy who played Gollum in was that Lord of the Ring.
Yeah.
He's a director, and he changed the movie to totally not anti-capitalism, anti-communism. He turned it anti-capitalism.
He says.
And they didn't know when they voted the movie to be made. They didn't know until later on when the movie's 99% done. They're like, shit. They're like, what I would do with it? They spend the money on this movie. They released it, and it took a big fall. 30% of the people canceled the subscription right away. That's few million people canceled right away because you need to know your audience. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You went to a totally different thing. So now they're a little more tight now after they had this big fiasco, debacle. Like they're gonna be in trouble for choosing this movie. But they will be choosing movie now on a little tighter scale. They will want a lot more stuff to be done. But at the same time, I see your movie, Dr. Leong, and even this movie that you have is a fit for this Angel Studio. You should, both of you, take a look at it and try to see if you can get it to it. Okay. Like I said, we can just keep us aside all politics. Just make a good movie, get the 20 million, 15 million, 20 million you get from them, and then you can make an additional more movie later on. With
okay, that sounds great. Before I let Andrew say, I'm going to discuss, before we came on, I was talking to Vernon about a couple of potential big money enterprise I'm working on right now with various partners. One is actually partnering with Dr. Jessica tonight. I'm going to a fashion show. She's very connected to one of the party we have is on this SBLC monetization. I'm not going to go into full details on here, but we close this out. This could be a substantial funding opportunity for us. Another one is actually, and even potentially a bigger deal, is that our partner Realcom, who you know, both of you, I think you met Dr. Rafael, they signed an agreement a couple of weeks ago with my Chinese buyer that I introduced on an oil and gas deal. I know it's not clean energy, but hey, money's money, okay? We need money, whether it's a thing, as long as it's legal. And that, again, could be very, very substantial. And it'll go into a fund that I intend to create within our collective that will fund, like I said, the art business charity, that will, of course, fund the charity. So the reason why I bring this up is Vernon mentioned that they discover oil and gas in the Caribbean, Jamaica as well. So, so this is where potentially with our connection, and that's something which I'm not going to go in detail, right, Vernon, but I think we should talk to maybe get connection to Jamaican government. As you know, I have a colleague who actually knows the Prime Minister of Barbados. And that's why I put him in the CC in that email, mass email, which I CC people, because there's quite a few people in that. So that may be something that we want to also not only, open the government channel to China, but open the government channel to Jamaica and say, listen, we can bring in this, since your prime minister stated that they want to bring in movie production locally in Jamaica, then, through our connection, through you, Vernon, through Krim, through my own contact, etc., that we could, marry politics, communism, capitalism, and bring it all together into one great project together. But again, I'm not going to go into detail.
I got to interrupt you, Dr. Ying. Yeah. I have a very big connection in Jamaica, but we got to come to him with some. We have to be capitalized. His name is Chris Blackwell. He was the founder of Island Records. He signed Bob Marley, and he also signed U2. And he sold Island Records. His family is the Blackwell family of Cross and Blackwell. They've been in Jamaica since the 1600s. And they're a white British family. And Chris Blackwell and I had a #1 record. And I can get to him and he can connect us up in Jamaica. But we can't go in with an empty hand. We've got to go in with some money and be ready to deal. So if you guys can find the money, think about it. I'll do what you suggested, Kim. I will definitely look at Angel and others. A24 sounds like a good place to look. But, we need to get some money in the door real soon. As I said, it doesn't have to be a lot. $1 million would be fine. But we got to, if we want to play in these areas, we got to get some capital real soon. So let us know where you think we can get some startup capital. People who are just willing to be partners in this. and put some money up right now. That's what we need.
Yes.
All right.
Once you get the first person in, it gets much more easier, but not very easy. But for example, I have another movie that I optioned a book. I optioned a book called Undaunted, right? It's already 4 years already. I optioned it. I actually paid somebody well-known scriptwriter to adapt it into a script. The script is ready. It cost me like 30 grand to option the script. I actually got it. I got the pitch deck already. We put up I option 5 years, almost over. So we opened an LLC, like a escrow account. The budget, because it's a period movie, it was looking at 13 million. And we were going to green light at 8 million if we didn't get it. So right now, it's been about so long already, I only have less than $2 million in the escrow. So by the time it comes, we don't have a time. When it expires, I have to return all the money to the investors with the interest. I don't get that. So I'm trying to do it. So now what I'm trying to do is we thought about it. We said we are running, time is running low. I have to return your money. But I went to them and say, what if we make this movie a slightly smaller scale? And so 8 million, cut it down to 4 or 5 million. So we're not going to have more of the expensive, A-lister. Cut it down to C-list also right now, not even B-list now. So that's what we're looking at. But I think meaning what happens, basically I'm trying to say is we can adapt to it to get it done. Because once we had the first in, it's so much more easier. The first person came in 250 grand. The rest of them just came in 250 grand each, all of them. That easily got us to it. Because people were like, oh, I don't know who's investing. And they asked me, how about you, Kim Wang, what are you investing? I said, I'm working on this project for years and years. My money is way more than that. And my time is way more than that. So that's what I'm investing. You guys are investing your time in there too. You tell people that's what you are investing. Yeah. You're not like me doing it for, that's the money is not in value in terms of dollar sign, but actually our time is much more, and especially the idea, the IP, the copyright, that's worth a lot more than the millions of dollars they're going to put into.
Absolutely. Time is money, as they say. So, okay. So I think this has been great. I'm going to let Andrea have a final closing comment, and then I'll send a summary of this, and more importantly, the action plan to try and move forward on this. And I said to you, touch wood, if I can close out on these mega deals, then I may be able to put the first seed fund to get things kickstarted. Fingers crossed on that. So Andrea, you want a final comment?
Well, thank all of you for your time, because your time is gold. And Kim, your advice is gold. Your advice is really gold. And I want you to know that we really appreciate that. It really means a lot. And thanks, Vernon, for everything you bring to the table too. And Leon, giving yourself, I know you're my husband and I'm biased, but you're doing such a great job. You're the great connector, and I love you for that. But this is amazing. This is fantastic. And I have high hopes for the future and all of these projects. So thank you, gentlemen. Have a beautiful rest of the week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Always
God
good to hear
bless
from you.
everyone. Take care. And if I see you at the fashion show Business Network tonight, Vernon, I don't know, Kim, you want to say something before we shoot off?
No, maybe Andrea and Dr. Can you stay behind for another 2 more minutes, because I want to update you on the other project with Dr. Raj.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, Vernon,
sorry,
could you disconnect so I can speak to Kim on the other project? Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Good luck, thing. Well, keep me posted.
All right, I will.
Thank you. Bye. Hello.